course, I'm Diego Pizarro Sanchez. I'm currently based in Paris. I am the Learning Experience Manager of a Master in Science Entrepreneurial program of two big universities in France, the École Polytechnique, which is a university mainly of engineering and science, and HEC Paris, which is one of the best business school in Europe.
And you have like a very interesting entrepreneurial journey that's taken you from South America all the way now to France and in Paris. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. Everything started with a huge earthquake. The
Wow,
2010,
what a start to us. Whatever you say now, that's a great start.
A very shaky start. And not only earthquake, it was also tsunami. It was a huge thing that happened in Chile, but we are kind of used to that because we have till every 20-25 years we have a big earthquake. But each time they are stronger. So this earthquake teared down big part of the central south part of Chile. And I was doing my internship in a permaculture school, eco school, in the south of Chile, in the center south of Chile. So when I come back to my city, Valparaíso, to my university, we decide with a couple of mates to develop a dry toilet solution, but it was more like a bathroom solution with a solar shower, dry toilets, a gray water filter. And we start building toilets for all the people affected by the earthquake and the tsunami. But all the municipalities in the countryside start to be very interested in our solution because we're more competitive than the septic tank solution, and the sewage is never going to get there because it's very dispersed communities. So we transform from the night to the day in one of the first social business in Chile. All the municipality wanted to buy our solution, and we got accelerated by accelerators in Chile, incubated. We won a lot of funding, etc. And I had the chance to be one of the first people in Chile also learning the new methodology of entrepreneurial. All the methodology coming from Stanford, agile development, lean startup. And because of that, all the best university in Chile, and then in Latin America, in Argentina, Colombia, start calling me to do some keynote, then to do courses, to mentoring. And then in the same field, I knew my girlfriend. She's French. So we can say that I am being kidnapped.
Did you meet in the field, or
in the field
was it
in Chile? She traveled to Chile to learn about ventures. They're working in sanitation. So among them, us. And then she asked me to, after 5 years, she asked me to move to France.
You put the groundwork in.
That is why I'm in France. I'm in Paris now. And then, long story short, I started applying to several business school and entrepreneurial organization. And at the end, I finished and I think in the best one in HEC Paris.
Wow. What a story.
Yeah, that's a great way into tech.
You're in good company, aren't you, in the dry toilet department? Because it's a what's the guy's name? I can't even remember his name. The Microsoft guy. How can I not remember his name?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Forgot Bill Gates' name. It's a real passion project of his, isn't it?
Yeah, he developed with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation a lot of funding to develop, but was more in the scientific part, like doing a lot of deep tech investigation. We were more in the appropriated technology vision. That means that we build the solution, but also we transfer the technology. So the same people could modify the toilet, repair the toilet, maintain the toilets. We give the solution, but also the way of empowering people to have it completely.
Okay. So Bill Gates adjacent then.
Of course.
Yeah. So from the first part of your story to the second, what led you to mentoring and directing an entrepreneurial master's program?
I mean, you obviously have the credentials for it, but I mean, the actual leap into, okay, I'll teach others.
It's like you were leaping from continent to continent and then industry to industry.
Yeah, but you know what? I've been working all my professional life in both paths. You know, in the dry toilet path or sustainable sanitation path, in the entrepreneurial path. Because when I arrived in Paris, I started doing some mentoring, but also working in a dry toilet company that is renting dry toilet for events. So I'm being moving from one path to another of my life, and the approach is the same, you know, because now in HEC I have the agreement of all the stakeholders to give to this master a new image in the impact. No longer doing business as usual, because we all know how it ends, but now try to start inviting all the students to develop impact projects. You can have a little project, or you can search to be the next unicorn, but search for the impact. So I don't know if I'm being responding your question, but more or less I think is that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I mean, it's definitely like a hand-in-hand thing to teach. But what are some, I mean, obviously you've got this experience that very few people have coming through, you know, you saw a problem, you fixed it, and now you're far down the road teaching entrepreneurship to people. What are some of the most valuable lessons that you can kind of condense into a podcast answer about becoming an entrepreneur, or, you know, forging your own solutions to problems?
I think the advices of the takeaways is if it's difficult to you to find a way in your life, to find a way where to develop yourself, entrepreneurial way is the solution. You make a place, you create a place for you in society, and you can approach to entrepreneur in several ways. You can have some as side business to do and be an employee. You can give completely to your entrepreneurship venture, or you can be in the ecosystem, help people. So I think the first takeaway is to be sure that you want to surf in the uncertainty, because entrepreneurial life is very uncertainty. It change a lot. You have to be able to adapt yourself. The customer pain change all the time. You have new investor asking to do new things. Mentors, advisory board are going to always be challenging you, so you need to adapt very fast. And also try to be the best boss that you can have. That will be yourself. You'll be your own boss, and you have to take the best of yourself. And this is quite difficult, you know. If you don't want to work one day, nobody is going to tell you, okay, get up, do your laundry. So it's up to you.
Yeah. But actually, before, I wanted to get into a little bit about how AI is really changing that industry a little bit, which I know is a bit of a hot button topic. But I want to ask a few questions about your actual students. You know, the course that you teach. How many students do you have? How long is the course? What exactly? Tell us a bit about it.
Of course, there are 120 students.
Wow.
A lot.
Yeah.
They have
laundry to do.
They have a yeah. It's one problem is times 120. So it's quite a challenge, but they are very lovely guys. They're very intelligent, and also they have this entrepreneurial mindset of trying to be autonomous and having problem, but also propose the solution and try to even do a business to solve the problematic.
100 entrepreneurs all solving problems all day.
They've all got the best idea of doing the laundry. It's just laundry, guys.
And the artificial intelligence is quite a challenge, because we prepared guys to use these tools to develop their ventures, but also it puts in quite a challenge the regular teaching way, with the regular task, thesis, all the kind of work that nowadays we demand to students. They're very easy to make by artificial intelligence. So we need to adapt as a school, and in the same time that we are giving these tools to the students, also adapt the way that we are asking to have the learning result and how we are measuring the learning result. They are using it to complement their jobs, or they are using to just not do anything and do by the AI. So it's quite a challenge, and I'm being honest with you, I think we are very late, not only in HEC. I think universities are very heavy to move. They have a lot of inertia to move to adapt their. They aren't the most agile organization in the world.
That's where the Wagon's helping you out, I guess, teaching
Of course,
students.
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
So for our listeners out there, Wagon teaches like a very short, condensed version of the AI course for your students.
For the moment, but we are having talks to enlarge this accompanying and try to be more to split this cohort, because there are 120 and we have some engineers, we have some people from other backgrounds like pharmacy or design or whatever, and we have the business school. So the level of knowledge in artificial intelligence and technological tools are very different. So now we are working to have different courses, longer and shorter.
It's an interesting point that you make about kind of teaching the students about the tools that they should use, but then kind of gatekeeping them actually using them as part of the course. I was reading something the other day about students in the UK who apparently are moving back to using pens and paper because they have to learn about the tools. They have to learn about, like, let's say AI, but then the teachers don't want them to use it to create the answers that they need for the course itself. So it's interesting you're saying about that kind of dynamic between the tools and then actually employing them when you're learning.
I agree with you, but I think it's not the first time that we confront a huge technological step. This gap between the old school and the new school. We have been there before.
Yeah,
and Google,
that's a good point.
maybe when the computer, we were talking about to give the kids to use tablets, work and be like native in technology, and then we are changing again. I think we are going to move back and forward. But I think it's up to us to be coherent in what we are offering. It's always easier to forbid something than to try to adapt. To try to be on board of this changing. So
very wise words.
Well, I think the ball is our side of the field, and we need to do something quick to adapt and ask the student to use the artificial intelligence, not to forbid them, to use to have a better result, to have a better working production. And also the thesis, that is something that we have to discuss. We ask the student to write a kind of a book that is going to be here and not read a lot for a lot of people. So it's something that we have to have a good and deep reflection about it.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so on that topic, we've segued nicely into the world of AI. How do you actually see it changing the way that entrepreneurs approach building and scaling businesses?
I think nowadays is how you search these little spaces gap. There are now with all the possibilities that the artificial intelligence is giving us to solve some little problems and have a ventures opportunity. But to go further, I think that we need to address this new technology with my vision, to search the impact, how we can use this technology that consume a lot of energy, and there's a lot of people with power and money wanted to invest in there. How we use, not for doing business as usual, to try to do something better for the environment and the society. And I think that if we challenge our students to, from the beginning, start to think in business, to share the value, not to only to capture the value and split it between the shareholders, just with the shareholders, but with all the people in society. I think we are going to change the world.
On that topic, actually, talk about impact investing and impact businesses, and then the environmental impact of AI. Is that something that you talk about a lot on the course? Is it very prevalent at the moment?
It's something that we talk with the student in our free time. It's not treated in courses.
Okay.
But it's something that we have to address, because it's not only the student that are talking about, it's also the customer.
Yeah.
In time, we have more conscious customers searching for paying more, but have products, digital products and physical products with some traceability of what are behind that product. The product that design yourself and speak about yourself. When they are using, here in Paris, we saw a lot of people using V. Some like a basket. There's no Nike. There's V from Viga. I don't know the name.
Like a shoe brand.
Some shoes. Yeah, there's a shoe brand.
Vegan.
Yeah, VEJA.
VJA, yeah. And they speak about it to people. When you see someone using that kind of shoes, say something. And the customer wanted that, want to be represented, not only to pay the smallest price. So it's something that we have to address.
Interesting.
Are there any areas where the AI, specifically your students, is already really changing the industry, like their entrepreneurial journeys? Because obviously it empowers them to be able to do a lot more on their own. But how are there any areas specifically you see the implementation of like Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT helping your students specifically?
I think they're helping our students to not lose their time in so very basic task that could be very automated.
Yep.
But also now you can do a lot of things very fast, and what you're going to do with the rest of the time. That is there you have the question to ask and to.
That is good.
Because it's like we are like dogs trying to chase our cue, going faster and faster. How is that going to end?
Yeah.
Before we send letters and we communicated by letters, then by telephone. Now the mobile telephone, emails, and now we are going fast. But we never have time. How come?
Yeah. Now you have to. Yeah, interesting.
It's funny that on that topic we were talking about that at work the other day, because our developers said they don't ever look at their email accounts, and most of our developers are like, I don't know, mid to late 20s, and we were on our kind of our director was like, why aren't you guys looking at your emails? And then the developers were teasing her, like saying she's such a grandma. It's like sending a letter these days. She's just like, just send a message on Teams. Come on, it's like the modern way of doing it. It's so funny how it just dates so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the loss of emails is not a bad thing, to be honest. Like checking your inbox all day.
So talking about the next generation, those young entrepreneurs and developers out there, could you tell us a little bit more about the program that you lead and what the students actually build?
Of course, it's a very learning by doing program that start with we call a lot of people in the entrepreneurial ecosystem to give us some ideas of ventures. We propose these ideas to the students. Between the first 8 weeks, they have to develop a venture idea, a startup project. Then we have a demo day, and then we pass to the restructuring phase. There is some business they're about to fail. They're in the process with the tribunals and the judges to determine if they're going to be closed or sell to another. So we ask the student to develop a going out solution, like selling the company or restructuring the company and go out again. And then they go in different paths to do like an incubator program. at Berkeley in the United States, Singapore, in Paris with the Launchpad, and others, fintech and biotechnology. Impact also. Then we do the learning expedition in Europe and also in the Silicon Valley. And then there's the last part. We give them the last tools to develop their own project. Then they have to do an internship either in like a bras droit, like the side of a CEO, or in your own startup. Then the thesis, and it's finished.
Can I do it? It sounds great.
Yes, of course you can do it.
Nice.
You have to apply. You have to be selected.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll apply.
I can do something for you if you want.
Yeah, that sounds great. Actually, how long is that course?
It's 1 hour, no, 1 hour, 1 year and a
Easy.
half. Yeah,
Okay,
easy.
year and a half.
Now with the artificial intelligence, 1 hour you can do it.
Yeah, just plug it in.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a lot is asked of the students. It must take a very specific type of person to be able to excel in all of those fields.
I agree with you, and that is the core of our business. I think is because we have some profile that they just want to have a business most automated possible, to work for them and to have time and a little amount of money to live their life as they want, to be digital nomad, etc. And we have others that they want to sell, they have an exit and then do it again and then become VCs.
Exhausting. That sounds exhausting.
And they have to do work teams together, and they have to do projects together, and they have to do. But the life is like that, you know. You have to be able to work with different profiles and try to have the best of themselves.
Yeah. Are there any kind of like common, call it like misconceptions? Like, for example, people always say that people who are good at sales are good at good at raising funds and stuff. Are there any misconceptions you found, like any things you didn't expect? Not like, for example, people who are good at coding aren't necessarily good in teams, and that's like doesn't necessarily mean they'll be good in a tech company. But you must be really exposed to lots of different personality types.
Yeah, sure. I agree with you. But we do it very, very well. For example, the first week of our program, we go to Dans les Jura. It's a department, zone in France, in the borderline with Switzerland. A lot of mountain, and there's no mobile phone connection. And we do trekking during 5 days. And the goal is to be disconnected of the mobile phone and the rest of the world, and just get connected between us and know everyone, know each other. So we do teams, and we change the teams all day, and they have to go through the mountains. And the only thing that
Sounds awesome.
you can do is talk to each other, tell your history once and again. And then you start seeing the different profiles, and also how they match one to another.
How do you come up with that curriculum? That's a great sort of non-traditional way to encourage like these character building. You
know what? This program is very old. It's from the 80s. Now the joint venture between the École Polytechnique and HEC is from 7 or 8 years ago, but the HEC program by itself is from the 80s. So I think is one of the pioneers, we can say. And also the active participation of all these alumni. They're pushing the program to be always updated is one of the things that make this program so unique, I think. Because I have to respond, in my position, I have to respond to a lot of people. The academic directors, the HEC head, we can say, the alumni, the students, all the people from the ecosystem, and so on. So there is a lot of people invest in making this program very unique, and also we are always open to listen, to adapt, to see what is happening. And I think it's also very important to speak with the students. They are our clients. They are the people with the pain, and we are the ones who have to solve it, and to see how, and to iterate and to pivot each time. We are like transformers. changing our shape each time to adapt.
Also created in the 80s.
Yeah, also in the 80s.
Nice. Great. I'm so fascinated by this program. I really want to do
Yeah,
it.
the more you've explained it, the more it was not what I was expecting when you said. I was imagining more of the traditional boot camp style, come to a location, learn, all of the skills necessary to start a business, which is a huge topic. But the way it seems so varied and so many different topics are covered in it, that seems awesome.
And you know what? When you go through the university path, from the day one, they told you that you're going to be one of the best and you're going to find a job.
Right.
There's not too many universities that told you have two options at the final moment. Either to have a job, either to do a venture, to do a startup. So that is the first thing to make this program attractive, because we say to the student, no, you're not going to find a job. You're going to do your own job. You're going to do your own startup. That's why we don't do we don't anything to approach students to the enterprises to search for jobs. I don't think that we have anything like this. We are just all focused to develop a business. And also we are developing entrepreneurs, not ventures, because the most possible thing to happen is that your project is going to fail. It's not because we are underestimating you, it's just the statistic. The first entrepreneurial project, the most probably thing to happen is going to fail, but not the second, not the third. So we are developing entrepreneurs. They're going to pivot, iterate to find the success. Fail fast and fail cheap.
Good parting words there.
Thank you.
So to conclude, if anybody has become as interested in this as Dan and I have, where can they find your details? Where should they connect with you?
Of course, they have to go to HEC.edu, the education.
HEC.eu.
We'll put it in the show notes, so if you're listening, wherever you're listening to it, just click on the details, they'll be in there.
Thank you very much.